Alright, this is a review of your wiki cell site. So the first things that I noticed, let's take a look at the real cell site. So look at this font style. This is definitely not a Times New Roman, and the body text is not a serif. It's a sans serif without serif. In other words, not a Times New Roman. Okay, so clicked on that link. Alright, so I want you to notice that and take a look at it. You know, you've got this little box around a division and items going down the left hand side, or you could have chosen to do it the way that you did it as well. That's fine. So just take a look, operation and range, and let's go down here and look at this book division and see how it's supposed to look. So we've got a book. It seems to be centered fairly well, an orange stripe, a border around it, and at least two different styles of text. Okay, and then maybe some bold in here. You know, there's some information you can put in there. All right, and let's look at what you did. So my observations are that this is not quite the right font, but you did a pretty good job of getting it right next to the division. So good job on that. Your book division, I'd like to see this centered in the page. So what you have to do is add a division around all of this code if you haven't already, and then set the margins for that division using cascading style sheet code to auto, and that will make the left and right sides of this division fight out how they want to distribute the outside margins, and in effect it's a technique that will center your book division. This looks fairly centered. It could move up a little bit. Okay, this is a big criticism that I have. You need to change all of this font throughout the body to something like a Verdana or an Arial, something that looks like sticks, a sans serif type of font. You need to add a border around this book division, and you have at least two kinds of sizes of font, so that's good. I'm going to squish your page up a little bit. I want to see what happens. Okay, right here with all of these images with captions, you should at least have a break tag in your code. I saw this on your assignment as well. If you'll add a break tag in your code, that class that you set up that styles a break will force a new line, a new row of floated images with captions, and so you'll have what looks kind of like a little mini image gallery over to the right. Okay, you're missing a centering of your contents within this division, and it should have a box, a border around it. Okay, and you need to get rid of, let's look and see what they did. See how they don't have the little bullets? So you've gone through List Tutorial now, and you know how to get rid of those little bullets. So I want you to go back and at the very least get rid of those. Additionally, these should be links. Watch what happens in the real page. If I click on Operation, I'm dropped down to the Operation section of the page. So look, you can see how that's done up here by specifying a link that says #operation. Okay, you can link to your individual IDs. That's what the pound is, an ID within your division. So you just have to say, hey, if this is an H2, give it an ID, call it operation, and then up here link to it. Okay, so you need to get that done. That's a big deal and a technical requirement as well. Operation, you need to separate these a little bit because they're running right up on top of each other. Well, I don't know, kind of looks cool, but I still think that the line should appear at the bottom of the P. Okay, you got the little edit thingies. That's pretty well done. When you move up operation a little bit, your H2s, make sure you move the edit thingy up just a little bit as well. Okay, these bullets look fine to me. Yeah, and see, when you restyle these H2s, everything will move up a little bit. It doesn't have to be right next to it like that, okay? Okay, so those are my major criticisms. And if you want to, create yourself you should try this since you were able to get this done so quickly. You're very proactive. I would try to create a 2-column liquid layout. Okay, go back and pull that tutorial, just grab the code from that tutorial, and then drop all of your content right inside the main division and see if you can get your page to look somewhat like this. Now, I'm not going to require you to do all these links, but if you'll just put it in 2-column liquid layout where there's a blank area over here, and then attempt to recreate this article, this talk, read, edit, view history. See these up here? You can do that with a horizontal list out of the list tutorials. If you go look at some of the variations, you should be able to get something similar to this done. Similar. Or I just want you to attempt it. Okay, that's about it. Let's look at, there's something called line height. So for this paragraph, you can specify a property called line-height in your CSS for this caption code. Okay, see if you can get that figured out, because I want you to reduce the height between the lines. See how theirs is not really very spaced out? And then look at yours, it spaces out a little bit more. Okay, so those are some changes I'd like to see you make. Thanks.